What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a great Thursday live session. What is everybody up to? Who we got? We got Joseph, Shed for Life, Dr. Mantis Toboggan, so Danny DeVito's in here, Chris Arizola, James Kamar again, Mike, ZL1 Chris back. Ooh, the Storm Mountain Tampa Bay. What up, Day of the Soul? Tim, DZ, Danny, what's going on, everybody? What's everybody up to? I wish I could say I've been up to, well, no. I started tearing into the Nova last weekend, and the cam is shot. So I'm replacing the cam, even if I did not want to. What are you going to do, though? I had one. It's not a big ordeal. Just hoping I can get the timing cover off without having to drop the oil pan. Finally broke down. Got the quick jack. Nice, Danny. Waiting on a call for a transfix on a Chevelle. I need more details. What kind of transfix? What's going on? So I've been seeing some interesting things going on in HP tuners. Oh, that's something else. I did get a external digital display to work with an MPVI3 on CAN bus. Can I turn my volume up? Is my volume not loud enough, or am I just not being loud enough? Boop. Turned it up one notch. What up, Andrew? What up into LS? Okay. Cut the side off. I decided to make it easier. Well, I can't remember, DZ, if I've got one that's... I don't think it's got the back side lip for the seal, so it should come basically straight off. Turn your volume up, Danny. That's what everybody else says. I have trouble with my 2019 Ram 5.7 on custom exhaust I've made for it. Is tune needed? Depends on what all you did to your exhaust. If it's a catback, it should not. But if it's anything that, say you went to green cats, because I know you wouldn't go catless. That's against the federal law. But say you went to green cats, something like that, yeah, you would have to tune it. What up, man? What up, Dual Sport Tyrant? New to the channel. Been watching all of your older stuff. Sweet. And you are welcome. The Mega Can shaft is sitting in the box on top of the LS. James, then yes, you would need a tune. But yeah, so I set up my bench force, hooked up a P01 to it, and then used the MPVI3 with the special CAN bus messaging stuff that I did a video on about a year ago or so. I don't know, 6 months, something like that. And was able to take live values from the P01 and display them on a digital screen. So, you can use one without having to have a standalone. Could be cool. Especially on swap guys, if you're going into an older vehicle and you want a digital screen instead of gauges or something like that. It gives you a theoretical way that you could do that, but there's some caveats. I literally just woke up from a nap, by the way. I was straight snoozing 10 minutes ago. Tim says, so I'm new to tuning. I'm trying to set up scanner to start logging on my Camaro 3.6. Chris, is HP Tuners going to release a screen for the core? I don't think I can comment on that. Gonna get me in trouble. Got really quiet in here all of a sudden. Blink 3 times if yes in the next 15 minutes. James says, I followed your video on tuning. Now downloaded HP Tuner. Any suggestions on going about it? Yeah, so biggest suggestions that I can make starting off. Only change one thing at a time. So change something, load it in, use the data logger to verify the change did what you wanted it to. That's probably the number one thing starting out. You don't want to change more than one item at a time. Something weird happens and you have to go back and you've added extra steps to troubleshooting and learning. Trying to figure out how I can get extra fueling during can scavenger mode. I don't even know what that is. Cylinder air mass in your layup, not picking up, nor is it map. Do I use MAF cylinder air mass? No, there will be some kind of air mass in there. It may not be called cylinder air mass. Just look for air mass. Might be spark air mass. Might just be flat out air mass. Grab that one. Yeah, and then intake map sensor. Are you running a patched? Oh, yeah, you're on the 3.6 liter. Yeah, that's a little bit different, and so some of the parameters wouldn't line up. Hey, Ben, welcome back. Spark plug gap per boost PSI recommendations. I don't know. I generally start working below 30 once I get above 10 PSI. And then I just kind of go as wide as I can and still get good spark. You know, you want as much spark as possible without blowing out the spark. I'm sure there's some kind of chart out there that's like, yeah, if you're running 20 PSI, you need to be at 23 thou or something like that. But, you know, and a lot of that's also going to be based on what spark plug that you're running. Currently going to use an Android for a temporary screen when I install my core. Definitely weird with the LAN to USB adapter. Okay. Curious if you have a laptop preference for the program. I've had a MacBook for 12 years. I'm a little out of date when it comes to Windows products. Funny enough, I use a MacBook Pro for about all of my personal stuff. I will say this much going forward, though, getting computers, you're seeing all these new computers coming out with ARM processors, and especially like the smaller ones and the mobile ones and jazz like that. I would hold off on getting an ARM processor. I need to do a video on this topic, actually, because I've gone through... Look, I generally... I can't say in the last... We'll say in the last 2 years, I've probably gone through at least 9 laptops. So I do have my favorites. And if I were forced to answer right this second, it would be the Dell XPS 13 or 15. And then a close second would be the Windows Surface Pro. That's previous generation, whenever it still had an Intel chip in it. Okay. Got off on a little tirade there. Unchanged fuel tables on Gen 3. Is there more than one table? No. You've got your mass airflow and your VE table. That's it. Some Gym 3s may have a primary and secondary VE table, and if the math's failed, it will be reading off the secondary. So don't quote me on that. If you've got primary and a secondary, the primary is only active whenever dynamic airflow is active. The only air mass that shows up, Tim, is the math. It's got to have some kind of air mass. Scanner. Oop, I don't know if I've got a 3.6 config available on my profiles. V8, 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 V8. Got a lot of V8s. No. Do not have. Sorry. So much spark plug talk. Yeah, you have to download .NET. That's what HP Tuners is built on. So what do you recommend on a 2011 SS Camaro cammed? Fast intake on E85. Going to a stop. Spark goes negative and stalls. Can't figure it out why. So 2011 E38. It is going to be your idle final airflow is too low. What's happening is you're going into, and because it's cammed, you might have to actually dummy up the air table for spark, but you're going into idle mode, and if you get any kind of idle fluctuation, the spark is trying to correct it. That's our fast correction, and then throttle would be our slow correction. So you need to check your base idle airflow and make sure oh, I got distracted by chat. Make sure that that's high enough. So if you're probably at 110 100 pounds per hour at idle, and if it's still stock, it's going to be 60. So it's going to kill it every time. Oh, yeah, and Tim, into LS says, I found one of the 6-cylinder doesn't have a map sensor. Pure math only. And that would be why then. So whenever you are on speed density, it is a volumetric measurement, and when you're on mass airflow, it is a I'm drawing a blank. Not volumetric, but well, mass based. Help me out, people. I put base idle a gram higher. Your base idle airflow a gram higher? Should be in pounds per hour. I mean, you can change grams, obviously, but 1 gram is such a small amount. Stock LS3 in 2010. Cracking number 7 piston from the land up. Second time happens at cruise speed, 75 mile per hour both times. AFR is 13. Whoo! Okay, so number 7 has happened. It's 2 times. Happens at cruise speed, 75. Man, Shane, I'd have to take a look at the tune. But it's stock. That's weird. There's so much going on, chat. What do you recommend for a wideband that you move car to car? I mean, is there really anything besides Innovate out there that's like an easy car to car move one? I mean, you can make any wideband move car to car. Just, take the power and hook it up to a cigarette lighter plug, and it's If you have a specific wideband that you like, I say just go with it, TK. Because I know a lot of people do not like Innovate. I don't necessarily have a problem, but you know. Now I got worse with a 102mm fast throttle body. Oh man, there's such a loaded question, Chris. There's so many things that could be going on, and honestly, without seeing the tune in the log, I don't know that I can come up with an answer to that right off the top of my head. Hungry. I didn't get my supper. I had a small bowl of fruit before I woke up, hammered down some fruit, came up here to hang out with you guys. I'm ready to go to bed. So, Into LS says 7-8 get the hottest. Yeah. The rear ones get the hottest, especially because on the factory heads, I don't think that they've got a rear steam crossover. So there's always the chance of getting air trapped back there. Too rich up, getting buildup in the ringlands, causing preignition. Yeah, shouldn't be 13 AFR cruise, which is weird if it's stock. If it's on a stock tune. Just because it's stock doesn't mean it's on a stock tune. I mean, the thing may also be trying to throw 36 degrees in there, which, yeah, it's not a small block Chevy. It's a LS. What up, Alex? How you been, man? I had plenty of them, but it got me stumped. I can check for vacuum leaks. Do I prefer the Innovate over AM? No. Listen, man, that's such a loaded question. What up, TJ? Such a loaded question. So, I'm not going to answer. I don't have. So, okay. AM, I say AM on the widebands for a couple reasons. One, it's there's so many different ways to hook them up. They've been very reliable. I mean, I've killed one, but come on, if I haven't killed one of something, it's basically indestructible. Yeah, and I know they work great with generic sensors and just yeah. And that crossover pipe for sure. The tune was what the guy got shipped him with the P01. I am at a loss. Is this the car that blew up? Number 7? It's not going. Why is it on a P01? What's going on with this 2010 Camaro? And I believe that, TJ. 5 years. Yeah. I mean, the one that was in the Super Auto. Granted, you drive your truck a lot more than I drove the Super Auto. I had that thing in there for at least 5 years. And I probably replaced the sensor once or twice on it. And not even out of necessity, just more of one of those things like, I'm under here. Might as well do it while I'm here. So, but as said, I'm not ride or die for any wideband out there. I don't know, is that what do kids still say stuff like that? Or am I dating myself with all my gray hair and my silly sayings? And now I will sit here quietly, waiting for a response. Try and figure out what's going on with Shane's car here. Man, you're so nice. Yeah, it should be E38 if it's 2010. Is there any benefit to adding a larger throttle body to a stock LS? No, none. Thing about it is the throttle body is not the restriction, and it's not even the way that you'd think, because everybody's like, well, clearly, what? Your heads, your cam, those are the restrictions. You're not going to be able to gain more air in until those are upgraded. E69 on a 20. Well, it might. Yeah, exactly. Well, and you're also boosted, but throttle body is one of the last things that I'm generally like, this needs to be upgraded. But a prime example is not only the intake manifold and the throttle body on the Smoke Monster were too small, and it was something that you can verify whenever you use a log. You're looking at the log, and the thing is in vacuum the entire time. If you have good filter, intake, throttle body flow, your manifold, whenever you're wide open throttle, should go to atmospheric. I don't give a damn how much your engine's trying to pull in there, because if it's not going to atmospheric, you're losing horsepower, because you're not getting enough air into the heads to start. Oh, TJ, you the man. Have a sweet, sweet, sweet nitrous purge. Yay. Thanks, brother. So, like, it's most people do not need to do a throttle body upgrade. Oh, you're sucking it through with... Okay. Yeah, turbo, it definitely wouldn't matter. Think stock is rated to over 1,000 CFM. That's a good question, and one that I've not really ever thought about. You think about it more whenever you start messing around with carburetors or something like that, because it's really critical. But whenever we're talking about these fuel injected ones, it's like 1,000 is a lot. I'm going to say it's probably closer to 800, 750 to 800 range. But I'd be very interested to see. It wouldn't surprise me, but 1,000 is like, 1,000 is quite a bit. The surface area, I just don't know if the surface area is there. I always see marketplace cars with aftermarket throttle bodies. They take manifolds on a completely stock engine. Yeah, and in those situations, as I said, like, if you have not given the reason for the engine to breathe more, it's not going to breathe more. That's why LSs in particular respond so well to a head and cam combination. But at the same time, to optimize on head and cams, you still have to have the exhaust and the intake side of it. That's whenever that stuff starts to become more critical. TJ Core, whenever are we getting one? Yes. 1st October probably. Guy brought the camera to me for a piston he had at Nashville shop, installed a P01, came with a box tuner. I've unlocked it. Nothing really changed much from the stock tune. Plugs were still stock gap. He reports cruising interstate over 30 minutes and then starts missing. Well, okay. This is so weird. I don't know why this Nashville shop put a P01 in there, but now I'm suspecting the wiring harness is getting hot, or it's touching on something, and honestly, to kill a cylinder, like, it would have to be maybe intermittent injector pulses or something like that. Maybe that cylinder, for some reason, because it's got some kind of weird hack job harness on it, uh, ends up going lean. And that's what's causing it to blow up. There's so many things that could be wrong with this, Shane. Like, if I were you, I wouldn't have accepted the car. Let's go, Jerry! Ballinger. I don't like Ballinger. Okay, see you, TJ. Thanks again, brother. Failed. Well, yeah. Could have something to do. There's just so many questions around this car. Like, is it the original LS3? If so, like, did the car catch on fire and that's why they swapped it over? Oh, there we go. H's Performance dropping the knowledge. This is on the LS1's. Stock is 798 CFM. So that would be, I think I said 800. Is that close to my guess of 800? 90 millimeter gets up to 1369. Okay. That's a lot of airflow. And I'm surprised at 90, I don't see why you would ever need something bigger than a 90 millimeter. Harness is stock. It's not P01 then. So maybe we're just... It was a kit supercharger made for the car. Shop did not choose. A supercharger customer wanted bragging rights. Yeah, something's really funky there, Shane. It should be on an E38 or it shouldn't be on P01. Like, P01 technically shouldn't even run an LS3 unless they're running conversion boxes to go to from 48 to 24X. Yes, as H said, stop wasting money on throttle bodies. But they do look cool. That's why I bought one for the Hellcat. Any big difference on ARP head bolts versus studs? Rebuilding LS. Wonder if it's worth going to studs. Jonathan, you going to boost it? Because if you're going to boost it, I'm going to say no. P01 supercharger. Man. Why not? You should have got with P01 on it. Yeah, if you're not going to boost it, don't worry about studs. Studs, you know, like, there's reasons, mainly for the clamping, even clamping force that studs are going to give you because of the way that they clamp down on the head versus a bolt, where the stretch point and where it does all that, so... I do not have a P01 here. It's at my office, D&Z. I had a restriction on 90mm on supercharged application. Yes. On boosted applications, it's a different story. Oh, P01. Oh my God. P01 supercharger. Okay. And it has the supercharger on it now. I thought it was stock. I have so many questions. Can't get the D-Tune says Gen 4 LS53 can't get the speed limit to change. Oh, the speed limiter. Help me out into LS. What's the other parameter just beside speed limit? Speedo. Let's look. Load. Limitor. What is this? It's E38. Ah, yes. Whoop. Whiteboard time. What time is it? It's whiteboard time. Yeah. So make sure calibration is set there and you should be good. Double check. This is an E38. It's probably what you're on. Make sure all these are maxed out. But yeah, it's got to be on calibration. Okay, that would do it. Okay, it's about wrap up time because we started a little early. And I'm ready for bed. Shane, make sure and report back next week on what you figured out, if anything. So many questions. Any game from 87mm LSA throttle body to a gold blade. I mean, I don't know. Probably not a big enough step to really make a difference. Never could find how to raise the rev limiter. Yours a little bit funky. Yeah, go for it, Shane. Yours a little bit funky. Make sure you send a tune analog. It's got to be there somewhere, though. Good crowd tonight. Big crowd. 45. I like it. Everybody throw a like on there if you haven't already. Show some love. Let's see that number go up. We're at 10 now. I wonder if I got anything to give away. Let's see. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, I got 5 memberships. Let's do it. Cow. Dead Soul, you're going to have to wait. You're going to have to wait. Okay. Thanks, everybody, for stopping by. As usual, we'll see you next Thursday. You guys know the drill. Thanks for stopping by the garage. Remember, ABT, always be tuning. I hit the end button. Did it go?